Hi everybody and welcome to SDI Coffee Break. And if you caught the last one in this series, we opened with our friend and partner, a very good friend and partner actually, Jeff Rumburg from Metricnet. And we learned some stuff, I think, Jeff, as well, didn't we, about you? A little bit.
Sure did.
And hopefully I think you might have learned some stuff yourself maybe as well, I don't know. All right, so let's talk about stuff then, Jeff. I think, one of the amazingly interesting things about you is your brain, right? When I listen to some of the stuff that sort of comes from that brain is some brilliant stuff. And when we look at where we are right now in relation to what we are in IT as support services in any organization, that getting value from people like you and other people in the IT sort of arena is really important. Value is a key component, isn't it? It's become a key component over the last few years. And of late, obviously, in ITIL as well, the emphasis on creating value and value-based outcomes as well, and how measuring that, how performance metrics measuring that can create value too. So I think certainly for us, when we see organisations, in the main, when we work with organisations, they're still struggling with the metric part of performance and turning that into value as well. And I think, I've got a lot of questions to ask, but I think I want to start with sort of metrics and value, really, I think, Jeff. So if you're looking at, a pool of information, how do you start to derive value from that kind of stuff? In any capacity, in a service environment, how do you start with that?
Yeah. The value question, David, is probably the one that motivates me most in the industry today, because there's a fundamental transformation going on from service and support as a cost center to service and support as a value center, as a creator of economic value. That value gets created through shift left. It gets created through channel mix, that is deflecting contacts into lower cost channels such as self-help. The most important value is created by returning productive hours to end users. And when that is quantified, you can calculate ROIs of 400, 500, 600%, meaning that service and support is creating economic value, oftentimes 4 times, 5 times, 6 times what their annual operating expense is. Now, the metrics that most tend to focus on in service and support are very tactical in nature. These would be things like customer satisfaction, first contact resolution rate, cost per ticket, metrics like that, mean time to resolve, for example. And those are important metrics for managing service and support on a day-to-day basis. But the primary strategic measure of success is ROI, and it's critical to understand ROI, and how value is created, and to propagate a service and support as value center, value proposition internal to an organization, as opposed to service and support as a mere cost center. So what that means is that you've got to look at tactical metrics to run service and support effectively on a day-to-day basis, but it's important as well to position the organization strategically to measure ROI and to communicate a value proposition of value creation in service and support, again, through channel mix, through shift left, and by returning productive hours to end users.
Do you know what's interesting for me, Jeff? Right, people use ROI as if it's as if it's gone out of fashion, right? And I think what I see is a lot of organisations saying, ROI, return investment, yes, ROI, but really find it very difficult to put their finger on what that actually is. Whether that's a mix of metrics, whether that's one set, whether that's a multiple set, what it means to the organisation, and I think if we were looking at ROI as a thing, I mean, how do you generate that return when you've got sort of all this data in an environment with legacy stuff as well, by the way? Yeah, how do you start doing that?
Yeah, ROI, it has become almost a cliche and a buzzword. You see it almost everywhere. Whenever there's any kind of spending involved, people flippantly throw out the term ROI. The ROI is great, or the ROI is fantastic, yet they never quantify it. ROI is an abstraction to most individuals and to most organizations, unfortunately. There's a relatively straightforward methodology for measuring the ROI of service and support. You can create economic value in a number of ways, whether you're a service desk, a desktop support, a field services organization, or some hybrid of, say, level 1, and desktop support. I've already mentioned the three big drivers of value creation. They are shift left, that is, if you can move tickets from a more expensive source of support, like level 2 down to level 1 support, or even self-help, self-service. That drives economic value, creates economic value. Secondly, channel mix, if you can deflect contacts from expensive channels like walk-up or voice into the lower cost channels such as self-help, or even better yet, problem management, the elimination of incidents at their source. That creates economic value. And finally, the big one is returning productive hours to end users. All three of those can be quantified and should be quantified, because it's very powerful ammunition to have, to be able to go to management, directors, and others within information technology with a value proposition, quantifiable. It demonstrates that you're creating economic value far in excess of what your annual operating expense is.
Yeah, that's really cool, actually. I mean, that's quite simple, Jeff. That's quite simple, and I think certainly, and we'll come on to this in a few of these sessions. I think if you look at those three areas, and maybe how you tease out of those areas the best value, the most important factors to some of that value as well. How you drive, for example, shift left initiatives, or maybe what you've seen out there and how organisations have started on a shift left journey and actually got there, and the type of value that they derive from that. So I think we'll close on that one now, Jeff. Thank you for that, and we'll catch up in the next session. Thank you for everybody for listening, and hopefully you'll join us in the next session. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, David.